Groucho having fun, coming out October 26th, 2013. Groucho having fun in October, playing in the tank. And he also figured out how to cut through one pin through to the next, one pin to the next. Get it, Groucho. Alright, and the fencing is complete on that side and all the way out to there, and also complete on the other post on the other side. So clean on all four sides. Come on, Groucho, come with us. Good job. Groucho just jumped out of there and you're one. Oh, beautiful. That's the dog that's spending the night at our house. Shake that mud off. And did you get a shot of your mud hound? All right. We just got done with our picture of our mud hound, but now a survey of the place. So the gates, the fences are complete. I'll see that last one's welded. I believe it is. All the posts are set. This heavy, the iron post there to hang the gate is set with rock from there and square on the side to the replaced posts. I'm going to take a pause and I'll start the fence back there. So then the old pin structure still there with the new fencing all the way out to the old post. Although those corner posts were there, then a new post. All that iron was there, but this fencing ironed on there, welded on there, and Groucho is not able to get in there, but it is also household canine proof. Alright, I've opened up the gate so the dog can get in. We need some kind of rock out here. As a matter of fact, I wonder whether that's what that is about. There is a little piece of lumber, but that hangs alright, open like that. So, and then getting in, the wall is square. Electricity was supposed to be run this week, but thanks guys were sick. And the posts are 2 new, 3 new, 2, 4, 5 old, 3 new, but then on the side 2 replacements and then an iron, so 3 new here, and then 1 replacement and 2 additional on that side. The gate was open, so the goats could have gotten in here unless we opened that since. And I will look at the floor a second. So the wall is complete. Open the gate latch to the front, which actually did a good job in getting a big center stone and affixed to the fence. The gate hung pretty almost perfectly, and then the fence done down to the gates, and the iron corner posts. I don't think I counted those at each front. So this was pretty well completely rebuilt, and then I get to clean up this debris and figure out how to use that old fence, if it can be used. I see fire pit in its future. Can we undo those cross members, lay those across as top members, and lay that flat as a table in the barn? Build some kind of substructure, and I am looking at those 10 drums, pardon me, there you go. And too bad there's 2 put together, but 2 would make a perfect stand. I don't know about the height. Maybe a 3rd would make it even better. Okay, I'll move from looking at the fence and the gate and the potential to move slats below and those barrels, and move back to the floor while there's still some light. So the flooring, we've got caliche all the way through on the floor. This gate here hung back there at that spot. I'll go back through this, which I have already unlatched, which seems to seal itself. But then the floor is all caliche, used sand and caliche throughout this floor. And I'll just walk it and we'll look at some of the corners and edges. And the fill all worked very nicely. And there's the pup, the mutt. And here is another. This is absolutely huge. And don't know where that would go, but that would make a nice, fine piece of something. And that has not been messed with, and somehow I don't get the impression that Jose wants to mess with it, which is A-okay. We've got some stones laid out, so we walk out here, which is very well and appropriately done. Brief field, and Groucho getting to check out places to which he hasn't been. So a good barrel. Unfortunately, that barrel looks welded between the two. And if it were not, or if we had a cutting torch, could use that as a tabletop. But there is some iron that potentially could be used to make a foundation. Interesting. It's looks like some fence posts. How long are those? Those are small pieces of tube. No, there are some 8-foot iron. So it could be enough to hold up maybe a homemade grizzly, but 2, also that material. All right, boys. So, one thing I thought about is putting this gate here up and down. Oops, dropped the phone. But right here in the middle. But what will fit in here? And I think, we don't know. Gary, my question is, that looks too big. Whoa. Somehow that zoomed way in. So that looks too big. But that one that's sitting on the other side of that fence, which is below the height of that fence, should fit in this width right here. Gregory, you stand at the head of the table. Go down, go down, go down. All right, stop. So that there's going to be a table here, and I can share this with Clint West. Clint, I am in the barn. There are now 2 unpaved quarters and 2 paved quarters. Actually, a third of those 2 unpaved quarters of the barn are also paved. But Gregory is representing what would be the head of a table, and I would be at the head of the table. So thinking lights that may go on these posts on this quarter, shine down on this side, and then maybe from the same post shine into that last quadrant over there. Kind of some thoughts on directional lighting, but knowing some direct from above lighting in this area would seem appropriate and an appropriate spot for us to put a table, workbench, etc. Then Clint, I think the rest of it is putting some lights that light the inside, and then some lights that light the outside. And really just some basic coverage, just basic lighting that would cast out to the yard. and then in the corners in the back, lights that will can just flood, and I guess they also could be just some ambient light that's pointed away from here if inside, but I would think on each of those corners, and to be quite honest, maybe in the very center and not necessarily on the corners. I'm going to have to think about that. I may actually say let's flood from that side back, and I'm going to have to decide on the next clip. But I think it's pretty straightforward. A flood on each side, a dual flood on each corner, and will just be adjustable accordingly, because I'm thinking maybe the light coming from the front out towards the pastures and just a straight out here would be great, but no telling, may change those ideas. So I think just one on each corner. So then we'll have a couple of either light fixtures up high or whatever's the easiest, that just one on each side, or some sconces that point down. But then in this section, several lights coming across, or I'm thinking 3 would be sufficient, one on each third of the quadrants, and then maybe just some sconce area lighting up here with, I guess, a little bit more lighting here than at the next corner, but I guess equal lighting. And thinking about the light fixtures is basically, I guess some goats could get up here, but I don't know that kids can reach it, so I don't know whether it's easy to affix to this pole or just screw into one of those cross members, or actually it's completely appropriate to set up another cross member, although it would be exposed to constant weather. So I'll leave that up to your opinion. So I believe we do all the switching right here, unless you find it easier to put a switch or two at the back, but then would need electrical access, and I guess we should have put a spot here, but I guess up high would be preferable, unless running it over, dropping it down here, or on one of these posts is easier. Putting it on one of these cedar posts, it's completely appropriate. As a matter of fact, that's probably desirable for the power drop there. And then it's whatever's easy, whether we can get it on that back post, maybe up high, or if it's just as easy to run down this side and just drop it. I would say I would prefer to drop it into the inner post on the back wall there. Lastly, we're leaving the box up, just standing here staring, leaving the box up, going so that we could, pulling enough conduit so that we could have a 50 amp line, just basically whatever a big RV would be, just an extra pull over here, and with the same tied end over there that later could be plugged into a fuse if possible. So hopefully I think we discussed that, and I don't know what it means as far as cable pulling or how that works. But the desire is to have that extra run, and then whatever is going to be required to power this, plus preferably even as many slots as is possible that is in the design and the capacity of that box to have some extra breakers, even for this on whatever comes terminates here for a breaker box. As much expansion as we can do if for some reason we need to power this place up. Thanks.